I'm Albert, and this is Chinatown. It really isn't that big as you look around. It's nestled between 8th Street and 13th Street, between Vine and Filbert. Of the 5,000 people that call this their home, and the hundreds and thousands of people who shop and dine here, Philadelphia's Chinatown is one of the most busy and vibrant neighborhoods in this city. But before I show you around a bit, this was the first location of a storefront in Chinatown. It opened in 1870, and it was a laundry. As you might have guessed, my ancestors didn't always have an easy time here. During the late 19th century, Congress passed the Chinese Exclusionary Act, banning Chinese immigration, as well as immigrants from marrying and establishing families here. Amazingly, that law wasn't repealed until, are you ready? 1943. But once the law was abolished, a new generation of immigrants arrived, and this really became a real, bustling, living and breathing neighborhood. Things like this have given Chinatown a pretty rocky history. Many times, the neighborhood and its people were threatened, but we've had our share of heroes. People like Cecilia Moy Yip and John Chin. So let's now head over to Holy Redeemer and let John tell you himself. So I'm here at Holy Redeemer with John Chin, Executive Director of PCDC, which stands for Philadelphia Chinatown Development Corporation. He's responsible for the housing and development of my neighborhood. So I want to talk to him today about the first organized protests that made PCDC.
We're at Holy Redeemer Chinese Catholic School and Church. Founded in 1941, it flourished under the leadership of Reverend Kavanaugh. At that time, in about 1966, there was a big proposal by the government to put a Vine Street Expressway highway right through this community, which would have meant the demolishing of this school and church. So that was the beginning of community activism in Chinatown. I would say that for 100 years, the government around this Chinatown community did whatever it wanted to. But during that year, it awakened the sleeping dragon. And under the leadership of activists like Cecilia Moy Yip and George Moy, they formed years and years of group activists and protests for 20 years. So it wasn't until the mid-1980s that they actually were able to complete the installation of the Vine Street Expressway. You would think that after the successful fighting of the Vine Street Expressway, that the government would realize that they need to find other communities to put the projects in. But in 1993, they had a proposal to build a federal detention center right next door to this elementary school. And then, of course, in the year 2000, the big battle with the Phillies baseball stadium, the community absolutely did not want that here. Over the years, the younger generation was inspired by the civil rights movement in the 1960s, and the elders empowered the younger people to take upon the community and fight for the community's rights and preservation. So since that time, the Philadelphia Chinatown Development Corporation has worked on a number of different aspects of community preservation.
So I want to thank John Chin, Executive Director of PCDC, and right now we're going to go explore some more of my neighborhood. At street level, you'll see what you expect to see in a Chinatown, from shops to tea houses to restaurants. But since space is tight, instead of spreading out, we spread up. Check out the second floors. See what I mean? Everything from insurance agents, to dentist's office, to doctors, to accountants. You'll find every business in Chinatown here, so you'll never have to leave. I love taking people to see this mural. It's the story of Chinatown. You see our hard struggle from back in China to modern day Chinatown. You see them leaving their wives and coming to America to the gold rush, to build railroads. You see us taking jobs working in laundries and restaurants to make a better living. And now we have a flourishing community that is forever expanding. And that is my Chinatown, Philadelphia's Chinatown, my home.